To dig deeper into today's episode of Blues Moments in Time, check out the show notes for this episode in the description. We provide links to further reading and YouTube links to the artist's music. We now return to Blues Moments in Time. From the Blues Hotel Collective, welcome to Blues Moments in Time, where every groove holds a memory and every moment echoes the truth of what came before. Today, we rewind the reel, trace the footsteps, and revisit the chapters that shaped the blues. Here is our host, Kelvin Huggins.
Welcome to Blues Moments in Time, the podcast dedicated to exploring the rich history and the cultural significance of blues music. I'm Kelvin Huggins, and today we focus on the events of March 10. We begin with the cultural landscape. On this day in 1913, we lost Harriet Tubman. To understand the blues, you have to understand the sorrow songs and the coded spirituals that Tubman used to lead people to freedom. Those songs were the soil that the blues grew out of, music as a tool for survival and a cry for liberty. When we hear a bluesman sing about going down the road, they are walking in the footsteps of the legacy Tubman left behind. Now let's turn to the political climate. Fast forward to March 10, 1972, and the opening of the National Black Political Convention in Gary, Indiana. This was about finding a collective voice, in the same way that the blues gave a voice to the disenfranchised in the Delta. This convention was an attempt to turn that cultural power into political power. It reminds us that the blues isn't just about sadness, it's about the resilience of a community finding its seat at the table. Of course, no discussion of blues history would be complete without exploring the music. Exactly 100 years ago today, in 1926, pianist Louis Russell sat down for his very first recording session in Chicago. Russell was a master of the swing that would eventually bridge the gap between big band jazz and the jumping blues of the 40s. He helped set the stage for the sophisticated urban blues sound that we still love today. This date also marks the birth of one of the most tasteful guitarists to ever pick up a Stratocaster. Ronnie Earl was born on this day in 1953. If you've ever heard Ronnie play, you know it's not about how many notes he hits, but how much he feels each one. He's a 3-time Guitarist of the Year, and his work with the Broadcasters remains a masterclass in blues expression and spirituality. And finally, we remember those who we lost on this date. In 1997, we said goodbye to LaVern Baker. She was a crossover pioneer who brought the fire of the blues to the pop charts of the 50s. We also remember the great Ernestine Anderson, who left us in 2016. Both women possessed voices that could move mountains, reminding us that the Empress and countless titles in the blues were earned with every note. Looking back at March 10, we see a through line of voice, from Harriet Tubman's voice calling through the woods to the thousands of voices in Gary, Indiana, and the soaring vocals of LaVern Baker. It's a reminder that the blues is our shared record of finding a way to speak when the world wants us to be silent. And that's all for today's episode of Blues Moments in Time. Join us next time as we continue to explore the remarkable history of the blues.